Hello guys, good morning to all. So next problem number 4, right? So we are done with the 3 problems, very simple problems. Question number 4 is very important. So this is CA final level question. Okay. So almost 3 to 4 times this question came in previous exams in CA final level. Okay. So that was the important of the question. Very important. We already discussed about this concept, everything. Just to be pay attention for this question, right? Okay. ABC Limited has a cash generating units. ABC, the carrying amounts of which as on 31st March 2001 are as follows. CGU A, B, C. 500, 750, 1100. What is that carrying amount? Next, remaining useful life 10, 20, 20. Okay. So ABC Limited also has two corporate assets having a remaining useful life is 20 years. ABC Limited also has two corporate assets. What is that? X and Y. 600 is a carrying, 200 is a carrying. The life is 20 years. Okay, no issue. Remarks. The carrying amount of the X can be allocated on a reasonable basis, that is, pro rata basis. We already know how to allocate to the individual cash generating unit. The carrying amount of Y cannot be allocated on a reasonable basis to the individual cash generating units. The question itself is saying that corporate asset does not generate any cash flows and does not contribute to any CGU also. So that's why please don't allocate Y carrying amount, nothing but corporate asset. You have to allocate only X carrying amount, that is 600 only. The question itself already said that point, so right. Next, the recoverable amount as on 31st March 2001 is as follows. A, B, C, 600, 900, 1400, and ABC lived as a whole. How much? 3200. Calculate impairment loss if you ignore decimals. Okay. Here the question is not complete, sir. Impairment loss as a whole also you should find out. Okay. Clear. So come to theory. So I ignore one point. I said that I will discuss later. So please go to the theory notes. The point is, yes, this point, very important. If question asked to allocate on pro rata basis, then allocate to these multiple cells. If in the given question the life of the asset is different, the life of the assets is different, then you should calculate on this basis only. On which basis, sir? Carrying amount of the other assets in CGU into useful life of CGU. You will get some amount. So and then take the proportionate of the total amount. Are you getting my point? Carrying amount of other asset. You should take the carrying amount of the asset in CGU into useful life of CGU. That's it. We have A, B, C. A have some carrying amount. B have some carrying amount. C have some carrying amount. You have to product into useful life. Clear? Yes, come to the question. You can easily solve this question. So come to question. First of all, what do you want? If you want to calculate impairment loss, what do you want? I want carrying amount and recoverable amount. Correct? Yes. So I have already carrying amounts. What is that? 500, 750, 1100. Correct? Yes. Please take that. 500, 750, 1100. Yes or no? So these are the carrying amounts. But the life is different, sir. We cannot say this value is higher, this value is lower. Exactly. Right? The total how much? 2350. Okay. So the life is 10 years, 20 years, 20 years. The life is 10 years, 20 years, 20 years. Now we should product. I already said this point, right? Already discussed about this point. So 505,000, 750 into 25, sorry, 15,000. Huh? Okay. 1120, 22,000. Total 42,000. Clear? Okay, now I want to calculate the weights of the each asset in CG. Are you getting my point? How to find out that? I cannot say the percentage based on carrying amount directly, because the life is different for each asset. The life is different for each asset, so you have to product the carrying amount and useful life. You will get some amount, right? 5,000, 15,000, 22,000. Now you have to calculate the weight percentage. Okay, now based on that percentage, you should allocate the carrying amount of corporate asset, right? So how much was the total amount? 42,000. Can you please calculate the percentage? 5,000 divided by 42,000 into 100. You will get some 12% nearly. 15,000 divided by 42,000. Please pause the video. You can calculate. Okay, 15,000 divided by 42,000, 36 percentage. 22,000 divided by 42,000, you will get a 52 percentage. That's it. Based on these weights, you can allocate the corporate asset X. What is the carrying amount of corporate asset X? So go to question. What is the corporate asset carrying amount? 600, right? So allocate that 600 in the ratio into 12%. 600 into 12%. 600 into 36%. 600 into 52 percentage. You will get 312. Okay, clear. Next, we already discussed about this point. When we are calculating the carrying amount of the each CGU, okay, each CGU or each asset, you have to allocate nothing but the corporate assets carrying amount also should be included in that carrying amount, right? So that's why we already allocated that carrying amount of corporate asset, and then you will get the carrying amount of after allocation of corporate asset gets. What's the carrying amount, sir? Here the carrying amount of asset is 500. Now the corporate asset carrying amount is 72. Total 572. Here 750 plus 216, 966. 1100 plus 312, 1412. This is the carrying amount after allocation of corporate asset X. If in the given question, okay, if in the given question the Y carrying amount should not be allocated to each CGU, right? Each individual CGU. The question itself is saying that. So, no need to allocate that carrying amount of Y. Nothing but second corporate asset. Okay, now if the question says that this carrying amount also should be allocated, yes, you can allocate on the same basis. Same basis means 12%, 36 percentage, and 52 percentage. Then you will get the carrying amount after allocation of corporate assets to each individual CGU. Sir, first of all, I want a clarity, sir. మా తెలుగు వాళ్ళు అర్థమవుతుందా? సో క్లారిటీ తెలుసుకోవాలి. సో ఆల్రెడీ నేను చెప్పాను కదా, క్యారింగ్ అమౌంట్ క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏం చేయాలి? ఓకే, ఇండివిజువల్ అసెట్ యొక్క క్యారింగ్ అమౌంట్ తో పాటు కార్పొరేట్ అసెట్ యొక్క క్యారింగ్ అమౌంట్ కూడా ఇంక్లూడ్ చేయాలి. ఐ ఆల్రెడీ డిస్కస్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఆల్సో, రైట్? అవునా కదా, ఎగ్జాంపుల్ డిస్కస్ చేసాం కదమ్మా. ఎక్కడ ఎగ్జాంపుల్? ఇదేనా? సో దిస్ ద బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ దట్. కరెక్టా? ఆర్ యు గెటింగ్? సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద carrying amount after allocation of corporate asset. Now you have to compare it with the recoverable amount, right? Because you have to calculate the impairment loss, right? So calculation of impairment loss. So carrying amount 572, 966, 1412, right? Correct? Yes. Then what is the recoverable amount? Yes, in the given question we have already recoverable amount, right? How much? 600, 900, 1400. 600, 900, 1400. Okay. So carrying amount minus recoverable amount, you will get a impairment loss, right? If it is a positive, impairment loss. If it is a negative, there is no impairment loss. In the given question, in the first case, uh, there is no impairment loss, right? In case of a CGU A, in case of a B, 66, 966 minus 900, how much? 66 is the impairment loss. 1412 minus 1400, 12 is the impairment loss. Simple. This is the calculation of impairment loss. Simple, sir. Please remind this point, just one point. When you are calculating impairment loss, what do you want? Carrying amount and recoverable amount, right? Carrying amount and recoverable amount. How to calculate carrying amount? Simply in the given question, if there is any corporate asset carrying amounts, okay, that value also should be included in carrying amount of each CGU, right? Each individual CGU. So in the given question, already carrying amount of each asset is given, but we cannot add the corporate asset carrying amount directly to asset value, asset carrying amount, right? Because the value is 600. On what basis you can allocate, sir? For that purpose only we have calculated this percentage. Are you getting my point? I think everyone got this point. Clear? Are you getting my point? To allocate the corporate asset carrying amount, we want some basis, right? So for that purpose we have calculated the base, nothing but percentage. Okay, now we cannot say 500 by 2350 some we will get some percentage, right? Next 750 by 2350 we will get some percentage. 1100 by 2350 we will get some percentage. Can we allocate on that basis? No, because the life of each asset is different. So that's why I have calculated this product. If the life of each asset is same, then you can allocate on this basis only. But it is not possible in the given question, right? Very, very important, sir. Examination point of view, even for CMF final. This time we are expecting this type of a question in exam. Clear? So we are done with the impairment loss. Now you have to allocate the impairment loss, right? So I already discussed in the previous example. Another. So now you have to allocate the impairment loss. So we got impairment loss in case of asset B as well as a C, right? In case of a B, the value is 66, impairment loss value. In case of a C, the value is 12. Now you should allocate that impairment loss to corporate asset as well as each asset, right? Whatever the units or assets in the CGU, you should allocate that impairment loss also. I already discussed one example in that, right? So simple. So 66 is the total impairment loss. Now you have to allocate that impairment loss to corporate asset as well as other CGUs, other assets. Correct? Okay. Allocation to other CGU. In case of a B, in case of a CGU B, we got a 66 is the impairment loss. Now you have to allocate that 66 to each asset. Each asset means we have only how many assets? How many, sir? B is one of the asset and also corporate asset included in that. So just allocate that impairment loss. On what basis? Same carrying amount basis. See, you are allocating impairment loss to corporate asset, right? So now you should calculate the percentage or on the basis of carrying amount of see in the given question in case of a B here total what is the impairment loss, sir? 66 is the total impairment loss, right? 66 is the total impairment loss. Here what is the CGU of nothing but a corporate asset value in case of a B? How much? 216, right? Carrying amount of a corporate asset is 216. Total carrying amount is 966. Correct? And 750 is for B, asset B. Now, the percentage is simple 216 by 966. Simple, sir. Carrying amount ratio. Total impairment loss is 66. I have to allocate on the base of carrying amount only 216 by 966. The balance will be allocated to other CGUs. In the third case also same. 312 divided by 1412 into how much? 12. 12 is impairment loss, right? So 12 into 312 divided by 1412. We got a 3. The balance 9 will be allocated to other CG. Here 15 is the corporate asset impairment loss. Nothing but impairment loss allocated to corporate asset is 15. The balance will be allocated to other CGUs. Clear? This is the third step. And last one, impairment loss for larger CGU. ABC has a whole. So last question is they're asking about overall overall ABC limited. So if you want to calculate impairment loss of an entity as a whole, you should consider all the assets, right? All the assets. Here we have A, B, C as well as X and Y also, corporate assets. Total how much? 3150, right? 3150. So we got an impairment loss. How much? What's impairment loss? Because see, in case of a B, what is the impairment loss? How much? Total is 66. Out of that 66, 15 is allocated to corporate asset. Balance how much? 51, right? So reduce 51 from that. And in case of C, how much? 9. 9 is impairment loss. In case of a corporate asset X, how much? 15. Correct. 15 plus 3 is total 18. 15 plus 3, 18. Okay. So how much? 51, 9, 60 plus 18, 70. It is the total impairment loss. We have to reduce from it. We will get 3072. This is the carrying amount after impairment loss. Okay, na clear? So now the in the given question, the total impairment, sorry, the total recoverable amount as a whole is 3200. Here we got 3072 only. So is there any difference? We will get any impairment loss or not? No, sir, because the carrying amount is less than recoverable amount. That's it. Okay, now this is the entity as a whole calculation. First of all, you should take all the carrying amount before impairment loss. We have a three impairment loss allocations. How much? 51, 9 and 18. 15 plus 3. So the balance is how much? 3072. That is the carrying amount of allocation of impairment loss. Here the recoverable amount is 3200. Compare with it, you will get impairment loss or not. So here there is no impairment loss as a whole. Clear? That's it. Very simple question and very, very important question. We have a solution also, but just follow the notes. Additional question number one, we already discussed a problem on this. So this question is homework for everyone. Okay, I hope answers also there for you. So easily you can calculate. Okay, easily you can solve this question. Clear? This is impairment loss index 36. Okay, clear? Thank you. Thank you so much. We will discuss the next standard in our next session.